Hi, I'm Torte de Lini. Every Deadlock match is set in a version of New York City called the Cursed Apple. Starters, the Cursed Apple has multiple floors and pathways for maneuverability. From an underground hallway, which is used to discreetly access the adjoining lanes, to the main ground floor, which has varying elevations, including catwalks stemming from the center building structure that horizontally cuts the city in half, as well as near defensive structures. There are even varying levels of rooftops and balconies that give players a high ground overview, called peak spots. P.S. Every lane and alleyway near the four main lanes are color-coded in some way or another. For example, you probably have noticed graffiti on various walls at the hero's eye level. This can be useful if you ever get lost or confused during a team fight and need to quickly identify which direction goes where rather than glancing at your minimap haphazardly. To assist in maneuvering around the Cursed Apple are a variety of environmental features for your hero to interact with. The first noticeable feature are the 4 transit lines that start from both bases and follow the route of each lane. These transit lines serve as a quick way to return back to your base if you're low on health or need to repurchase an item, as well as a means to jump into a lane after respawning or to assist allies battling in another spot. When riding the transit line, you can also press the F key for a zipline speed boost that will get you to your destination much more quickly. This zipline speed boost continues for a brief period of time, regardless of the number of times you get on or off the transit line. So long as the player doesn't take any damage, they can jump back on the transit line at any point. As your team destroys more defensive structures and your troopers push further into a lane, the longer your access to the transit line can be, allowing you to push lanes even further towards the enemy's base with the option to easily escape should you see an enemy hero responding or approaching. Beware that if you take any damage while on the transit line, you will be knocked off the transit line and take damage while being stunned for a brief period of time. If you manage to stay attached to the transit line for 3 seconds or are using it from your spawn at base, the transit line will glow and you will become immune from being knocked off. While transit lines are your main form of transportation vertically across the map, Deadlock has a lot of different environmental features to assist players in reaching the different lanes horizontally. For example, bounce pads are scattered all along the ground floor and rooftops towards the center area to help heroes access rooftops more easily, reach the second level of some areas, and also reach other lanes and locations more easily. For example, I can use the bounce pad near the purple lane to reach the blue lane quickly to snag a kill when the enemies are pushing into our team's guardian. Similarly, there are 3 pairs of teleport stations that help your hero cross a large horizontal distance of the map rapidly. These teleport stations can be found either on the basement level or on the second main level near a catwalk. So similar to the bounce pad, I can access the teleport station near the purple lane that will teleport me between the yellow and orange lane where I can jump an enemy with my team. Another option is to discreetly push a lane with my troopers to then pull back and use a teleporter to avoid being chased. Teleporters help bridge the distance between the lanes, so you and your team always have the option to connect to help each other out or achieve an objective. When near or taking a teleporter, the map will indicate to you with a flashing arrow of where you will be teleported to. Next to the importance of maneuverability is vision. Across the Cursed Apple, you will see an environmental feature called Cosmic Veils that both obfuscate vision on one side, but provide vision for the other. Bullets and projectiles still work, including indications if you're hitting your target. You are just unable to see through it. So if you're being hunted down, you can rely on these Cosmic Veils to try and lose your opponent, and vice versa, you can rely on these Cosmic Veils to hide before jumping an unsuspecting enemy with your team. Alternatively, there are dead ends where you can lure a chasing enemy towards you, only for you to then turn around and use a strong ability while catching them off guard. These dead ends are indicated by red squares above its entrance and a shadowy figure standing in front. As you play throughout your match, you will accumulate a currency called souls. These souls can be exchanged at the curiosity shop in exchange for items. These shops are located around 3 areas. The first one is near the center of your lane, next to your first defensive structure. Typically, this shop is relied on for players to make their first purchases in the game to empower their heroes during the initial phase of the match. But this side shop is only available for as long as your first defensive structure is not destroyed. Destroyed, you can only access the shop at 2 other locations. The first being at your base, best reached with the transit line, or the second one is located at an underground location on both sides of the map near the center. All curiosity shops contain the same items, so it doesn't really matter where you buy your items, so long as you can afford it. If you want to get familiar with the environment of Deadlock, check out the Hero Sandbox, which gives you all the elements of the map, like the item shop, transit line, and bounce pad, as well as some dummies to target practice on. So that's chapter 2 in our tutorial series about the game. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below, and I'll do my best to answer them as best I can.